Hello and welcome to the World We Live In podcast. I'm your host, Eric Patterson. Alongside me is my sister, Erin. Join us as we explore the amazing, mysterious aspects of our planet's cultures, history, and future trends. What's going on?
What up? It's been a minute.
It has been a minute. October got away from us.
It did. It was stupid.
It was just...
Honestly.
Every year it happens. The 4th of July happens, and then the next thing you know it's Thanksgiving. It's the weirdest phenomena. I don't quite understand it.
Me neither. And I feel like, for me, it's sort of like the same phenomena as, like, after the 4th of July, the summer's just, like, a blur.
Yeah.
For me, my birthday's in, like, late to mid-September.
Yeah.
So I'm like, after that, it's just...
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on.
The year's over.
And then Thanksgiving happens. But... hopefully, we're going to be more regular leading up to the holidays, which we love the holiday stories.
I think it'll slow down a bit this year. Both of my jobs will slow down towards the holidays. Just the nature of coaching, and then my other job.
People leave the city.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just like you and your fam.
Yeah.
If they're here.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
It'll be good.
It's a good break.
It is, definitely. Trying to think if there's anything...
What have we done for the last 3 weeks?
We dressed up as... what did we dress up? Well, you dressed up as something.
Yeah, well, I just put on my social media a picture of myself in his mask.
I wore a freaky mask.
Terrifying.
Yeah, it is pretty terrifying.
It is.
And then I had a cowboy hat, and I just like a cowboy.
It was just like a big head with a lot of teeth.
Yeah, a lot of teeth. I was just like a scary cowboy.
It was great,
yeah.
and his outfit was a flannel with a vest.
Yeah, it worked.
It was really great.
Yeah.
I was a nun.
Yes.
A very not politically correct nun.
Yeah. This is true.
Which was funnier, because... I'm one of my few friends who actually practices their faith, and so it was funny.
Yes, it was.
That I was a politically incorrect nun. But it was a great time.
It was a good time.
2 parties, one like downtown, one out a little bit. It was a good time.
Yeah, we went to a good party.
Yeah.
Good. The girl that put it on, I feel like she loves to throw parties.
She does. She's that girl.
She is that girl.
I was with her today, actually.
Yeah.
So great. Like,
so
you
funny.
need a friend like
you
that.
You do. You need someone that's going to go all out. She said she started at 8 a.m.
She did.
Setting up all the stuff.
By 2, she was like, I need a nap, but I have to do this and this and this. I was like, I'm sorry, you're going to have to take some drugs or something.
Yeah, you got to pump
to power
it up.
through.
Yeah. Okay, so I honestly thought I got sick after the party.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because
wait, sick like a flu
cold,
or
like a cold? Because I was playing flip cup.
Okay.
And those cups.
You're drinking.
The cups get flipped. Just a lot of liquids bouncing around. The table's soaked in beer, and you're just flipping cups. And,
which rare occurrence.
Yeah.
For Eric, like, he was full blown into flip cup. It was awesome.
I was going hard. Yeah.
Yep.
It was the table was slanted because her yard. It was not great as far as like
she just got like her yard done and like things built into it, so it's still a little
beautiful yard, but it was just slanted, so it was like hard to flip the cup, and
we had to move the beer pong table like 5 times.
Yeah.
So for sure,
had to find the right balance. But yeah, great party. I love Halloween. Went to Rocky Horror Picture. Did you ever watch the movie?
I never did.
You probably didn't.
You told me, or you texted me, but I was at another horror movie at the time when you and your girlfriend were seeing that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
A terrifying horror movie. Probably the best movie I've ever seen in my life. Smile.
Yeah.
It was good. For 2 days, I could not sleep. Like, it was horrifying.
Yeah.
But, I mean, very well done. Like, I'm sure it got the attention of a lot of different audiences. Because it was horror. It was also, like...
psych thriller, yeah,
like a psych thriller. And there was just... those were the 2 main parts. But I love psychological thrillers. I'm not a huge horror movie. But... it works for a lot of people. So it was good. Went to a ratchet little movie theater. It actually wasn't little, it was huge. But it was so ratchet, they had a Halloween spirit store inside the movie theater.
That's incredible.
Which was awesome.
That's incredible.
I was like, I don't know, I kind of like it. I might be a little ratchet, but it was cool. But yeah, it was full theater. The guy in front of me was yelling at me because like I was kicking him. I'm doing air quotes right now. But it was
you kept kicking the chair.
Yeah, but he also kept leaning back incredibly far, and like when something scared me, I would, my legs would kick a little bit.
Yeah, it's like being on an airplane.
Yeah,
like you're bound to kick someone.
Yeah,
like it's just you're too close.
He was
yeah.
Whoever you are, I wish you nothing but the worst.
Yeah,
I was just trying to enjoy a horror movie. I caught air one time. I jumped so high.
Wow,
like it was, and I don't scream. Like I really don't. That's why I like haunted houses.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just like the rush, But this movie scared me out of my pants for sure.
Yeah, we didn't do any haunted houses this year, but both years prior, me and my girlfriend have done haunted houses, and we did some of the ones in Disney not Disney, Universal. Universal throws a huge Halloween.
Oh, you did go to the Halloween thing.
Yeah, I went to Halloween Horror Nights.
Yep.
I believe at Universal they just do a bunch of different haunted houses. And then the one in Nashville Nightmare is actually it's legit.
Where is that at? Is it like outside the city?
It's on the north side over by Madison.
Oh,
yeah,
that checks out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's in like an old. I think it's it's actually a pretty sketchy area. It's like in this old abandoned mall, so they just gutted the buildings.
Oh my god!
And there were lines. They're just raking in the money. Wow. Yeah.
I'm watching scary movies until Christmas. Like at this point.
Why not? I should plug Cabinet of Curiosities. It's really good. It's created by Guillermo del Toro, the director. And
great. Kung Fu Panda up in this house.
Did he do Kung Fu Panda?
Uh-huh.
Really?
Which is why I knew him. Because I was like, I know that name.
Yeah.
And then I looked and knew none of the other movies he's done except Kung Fu Panda. So
it's really good. It's got those actors that you might not know their name, but you recognize their face.
The best kind.
And they're like, they kill it. They do a really good job.
Yeah. How long did it take? Like, did you watch it all last night?
I haven't watched it all. No, it's episodes. It's like Black Mirror.
Right.
Yeah, I've watched 7 of the 9 or 7
None of them
10.
relate to each other?
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah, they vary. They're really different. Like the one last night was about aliens.
We love that.
There's one about a guy trying to save his sister from basically purgatory. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It just depends. So,
interesting.
Yeah.
But it's like a classic Del Toro look.
Yeah, the cinematography is very unique.
Uh-huh.
But he didn't direct all the episodes, so different directors directed the episodes, but he was involved in like the creation.
Yeah.
So there's like different directors for each episode. The episode that I watched last night had this weird every light was like blurred. Mm-hmm. So imagine if you imagine if there's like a car coming on.
Okay.
And for those of you that wear like contacts, imagine if you like didn't have the contacts in. The light is like blurred.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to explain if you can't see it, but yeah, it's like the light is not just the light.
One light. It's like offshoots of it.
Yeah, it would like shoot off.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And that's how like
that's how like all the lights were, like all the colors were like that. It was really, really weird. But
cool.
Yeah. And then another one, this one was the craziest. It's about this woman who is like she's unhappy with the way she looks, and she works with like a bunch of women that are like really, really pretty. Uh-huh. And she goes over to one of the women's houses for Christmas, and this woman gives all the girls this like body cream that you can rub on your body.
Uh-huh. That would make me have a reaction knowing my skin.
Well, so she does have a reaction, and her husband's like, you shouldn't rub that on yourself. Right. And she's convinced it'll work. And so she's like, she keeps rubbing it on her body, and her skin looks like just horrible. It starts like peeling.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And there's a whole bunch of weird shit that happens, but basically it's about like how, I would say women in this instance, but I think some men feel this way as well. Yeah. It's like, you think something can help you feel better about yourself.
Yeah.
Some outside source
Yeah.
can help you feel better about yourself. But not to spoil anything, but in the end, it turns out that she just needed confidence.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a whole weird aspect with like a TV and like, yeah, it's very strange. Yeah, you'll have to watch it.
Well, this is interesting.
Yeah, it's
not
really
quite
good.
what I thought.
No, and well, and she's like kind of mentally disturbed towards the end, and yeah. So anyway,
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
If you haven't watched it, check it out. It's really good.
all right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're just gonna do some random stories about giants today because
Yep.
I wanted to, and giants and time slips are probably my two favorite rabbit holes to go down.
Yep.
And I sent you these.
Yeah.
So, yeah, have we done any episodes about giants? I know I've done an episode on Parareality. Shout out Parareality and Sandman, but
a lot of great stuff this Halloween season.
yes, very true. So
I don't recall doing anything
Yeah, I
about
don't
giants.
think we have.
But I love time slips.
I'm
with you there.
I know. They're so good.
Yep.
Yeah, so giants are what they sound like. Giants. There's no like alternative. Basically, it's the idea that there were giant humans in our ancestral past. Whether it be like offshoots of the Nephilim from the Bible or some other unknown human species.
Yeah.
Just the idea that giants have existed. So this one account is concerning an underground civilization of giants, which was detailed in a 1956 best-selling book called The Third Eye, which is the alleged autobiographical account by a man named Tuesday Lobsang Rampa.
First of all,
Great name.
Tuesday, the worst day of the week.
Yeah.
Personally.
Yeah, Tuesday's the most unimportant day of the week.
It's so bad it like couldn't even be first.
No, it's just like it's in between the worst day of the week and hump day. So
And
like
the second best day of the week.
Yeah,
In my
there's-
opinion, like
there's nothing good about it.
Tuesday. Well, tell us about Tuesday.
His name is Tuesday. So he outlined his experiences at the here we go. The Chakpori Lamasery in Tibet. It says he details his operation to drill a hole in his head to release mysterious mental powers. The titular third eye and the strange discovery of his own mummified body from a previous incarnation. There is his curious account of a vast subterranean world crafted by inscrutable entities under the Tibetan capital of Lhasa. It says he joined a priest to explore a system of caves whose walls were adorned with strange symbols and drawings by unknown hands. Rampa claimed to have come across a vast cavern with an underground lake and a ceiling so high he could not discern its height as the light did not reach all the way up. Okay, let's pause there. So, are you familiar with the third eye?
I am.
Okay, you're
I was
familiar
going to
with
say
the third eye.
that I know about.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, the third eye is just in some old paintings, especially in the Eastern traditions, you'll see like a third eye in the middle of the head. I don't know too much detail. I think it's like a gateway to your spirit or
That's what I've heard, yeah.
enlightenment, some alternate reality enlightenment.
Yeah.
Also, like Hollow Earth theory. Have you heard of Hollow Earth theory?
Hollow Earth theory.
So the idea that there's like a civilization inside the Earth with its own sun and own like system of being.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that would insinuate to me that's not hollow.
Well, it's just that there's not like a molten. Not like a molten core,
like a rock.
Yeah, there's not like a core of iron or whatever it is.
Okay, yeah.
It's not like rock inside.
Yeah.
That there's actually people in there.
Thoughts on that?
I like the stories.
I do too. I would think that'd be cool.
There's a story of an admiral, I believe Admiral Byrd, that flew a mission up to the North Pole. And he supposedly went into, like, when he got to the North Pole, it supposedly got like green and really warm. And he was like brought into the earth by these beings and like given a message.
Wow.
If I remember the story correctly, I'm pretty sure he died like a year after this experience.
Okay.
So no one really knows if it's valid or not.
Interesting.
Yeah. So he gets in this Tuesday guy. Tuesday gets into this room with these high ceilings that he can't see the top to, and there were these mysterious geometric diagrams, as well as pictures of giants and machines, the likes of which he had never imagined. There was an alien language. Says they took a side passageway that wound off and purportedly came to an area with a black house, within which were 3 sarcophagi, apparently made of smooth black stone similar to obsidian. They were covered with an array of strange symbols and what looked to be a star map. These inside the sarcophagi, there were bodies of these strange giant beings. He claimed they were ancient gods who had come to their world eons before. And Tuesday said, I looked again, fascinated and awed. 3 gold figures, nude, lay before us, 2 male and 1 female, every line, every mark faithfully reproduced by the gold. But the size, the female was quite 10 feet long, and the larger of the 2 males was not under 15 feet. Their heads were large and somewhat conical at the top. The jaws were narrow with a small, thin-lipped mouth. The nose was long and thin, while the eyes were straight and deeply recessed. They looked asleep. So, very odd, very odd. The gold part is kind of weird to me.
Because?
If they're asleep, why are they covered in gold?
Yeah.
Yeah, or was it just like, or was he describing like the architecture of the bodies? That just seems, because he said they looked asleep, but he also said they were made out of gold.
Yeah, like these gold figures.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Wow.
I mean, this is bordering believability.
Right.
I mean, for one, he's claiming that he went into the earth, and then he's claiming that he came across sleeping giant beings covered in gold.
It's like one absurd thing would have to be true.
Yes.
In order for this to even be true.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So he continues in.
Oh, I don't like that. Oh, it's just relating it to like a spider web, not actually a spider web. But
let's see here. So it says things got more bizarre. They came to a complex spider web of caverns, tunnels, and passageways. Within the oppressive gloom here below the earth, Tuesday claimed that they came across fantastical creatures seen scuttering about, as well as a brightly lit room hidden behind a sliding wall panel. which held an array of strange machines that he couldn't understand. When the tour was finished, Tuesday claimed that he had then gained the new ability to look through time.
Tuesday.
Okay, that happened real fast.
He was like,
that happened real fast.
I'm deciding this right now.
Yeah. He saw visions of ancient ages when these giants had basically ruled the earth. As incredible as all this is, no evidence has ever been brought forward other than his account. And there has actually been much debate as to Tuesday's true identity or whether this was a hoax.
We may never know, it says.
So, yeah, these stories of ancient subterranean entrances, if you will, are not, they're not new. So there are a lot of stories from like the post-Civil War Wild West of like farmers and ranchers and cowboys stumbling across like caverns in Arizona and New Mexico.
Right.
That like led down into the earth.
Right.
Which makes sense. Like we know that basically from like all along the Appalachian Trail there are like caverns. There's a vast cavern system all the way from like New Hampshire to Georgia. Mm-hmm. So there are caverns. Like how deep they go is the question.
Right.
Are you gonna go all the way down and see? You're gonna go all the way down and see giant beans covered in gold?
Yeah.
Or are you just gonna, see an underground lake?
I don't even know how deep are these mines or caverns?
You're right. They never really
don't
specify.
know.
Yeah, I mean, look, let's face it. Most people that probably found these caverns are not scientifically minded.
No.
So, and that obviously there are, but
Right.
back in the day, it was just. People were just stumbling around, especially out west.
Right.
And a big conspiracy theory is like there were giant bones found in the Southwest, and the Smithsonian covered all of it up.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've heard that.
I have. Yeah.
So that is definitely an option.
Well, this kind of reminds me of like the civilizations underground of like some of the like movie series and like books that were popular like I don't know 5 to 10 years ago, like Divergent and stuff.
Yeah.
Like those movies were like there were civilizations like underground from what I remember, and it was like people just loved it because it was like, oh my god, like that's like as crazy to people as there being like stuff up in space or like in the ocean. Like it's the same type of thing. Because like how?
I know,
but
right?
it was such a draw. But that's just what it reminded me of, like
Yeah.
the visual.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know that. I feel like the Smithsonian, that could be a thing we could do. Like some of the stuff they have hid.
Could be a good follow-up.
Could.
Yeah. So yeah, these stories are not old. In 1885, the New York Times ran a story of an ancient underground city that had been found 360 feet during the dig of a shaft for a coal mine near in Randolph County, Missouri. 2 men went down into the shaft to explore what had been discovered down there, and they would later claim that they came across an immense underground city. They said a hard and thick stratum of lava arches in the buried city, the streets of which are regularly laid out and enclosed by walls of stone, which is cut and dressed in a fairly good, although rude, style of masonry. A hall 30 by 100 feet was discovered with stone benches and tools of all descriptions for mechanical service. Further search disclosed statues and images made of a composition closely resembling bronze. A stone fountain was found situated in a wide court of steel, and from it a stream of perfectly pure water was flowing, which was found to strongly impregnated with lime.
What?
That's weird.
That is weird.
Yeah. I don't quite know what to think about that one, because it like kind of sounds really simple.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't sound fantastical.
No, it doesn't.
Under Missouri seems a bit weird, but
well, I feel like that's where it's overlooked, honestly.
yeah, true.
I did look up, like, if we're talking about, like, not necessarily caverns, but
yeah,
like mines. The deepest one in the U.S. is 9,587 feet, so 9,587 feet deep.
Really? Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So that you think like
that's pretty deep.
Yeah, but probably most are not even close to that.
Yeah, I know.
That one was in Idaho. So
okay,
makes sense, but terrifying.
Wow. Yeah. So this article does talk about Hollow Earth. It basically saying that these possible giant entities were part of an advanced civilization. Living, in the earth. But again, the stories are just so fantastical. Like, I would love to believe them, but they just get a bit out there. So
yeah, they do. But like, we believe some wild stuff, and it's just normally accepted into our thoughts. Like, do you know what I mean?
I do, yeah.
Like, yeah, this is fantastical, but so would, like, be the thought of, I don't know, other stuff we talk about.
I mean, even just a simple idea that there are like civilizations on other planets.
Yeah.
Like, even though there are incountable number of stars, we don't have any evidence for the existence of other civilizations. We just think that because there's a large number, there could be other civilizations.
Yeah.
And I agree. I do think that as well.
Yeah.
But I have no evidence.
Yeah.
I have no evidence to go off. It's just a probability issue. Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Absolutely.
But I mean, similar, like, we don't know anything past, like, the farthest that written history goes back is like the Sumerians, and that was like the Egyptians and the Sumerians, like 3000 BC, I think. That's like 5,000 years ago
compared to how long this rock has been around. Yeah.
I know. We don't know anything.
It's that thing of like the description of like if the lifespan of Earth as we know it that we can prove is however many billions of years.
Oh yeah.
And then like humans have been like they were like it's something like a week in December or something.
In like a calendar year.
And you're just like, what?
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I know.
It's that type of stuff. Like, we believe that.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, then you had the Ice Age. I mean, so much stuff got buried under the water, and like, I mean,
how do you even know? Like,
yeah, you don't.
You don't.
Yeah.
But like, there was so much time before we were here.
So much time.
Like, you don't know what little creatures or big ones were doing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, their bones might be uncovered. If something melts or something like falls or like, you just don't know.
Well, I heard this crazy theory on Mysterious Universe, I don't know, probably maybe a month or two ago. Don't quote me on any of the details, but the idea, and I may have told you this, the idea is that Saturn, we used to orbit Saturn, and like at one point, I think it was like 20,000 years ago, something like that. We got like.
Were you telling me about this?
I think I was.
I mean, yeah.
We got like thrown out of its orbit, and we hooked onto the sun. And so they were claiming that, like, because there's no way that dinosaurs could have existed.
Yes, it was about dinosaurs.
With their size, if we had the current gravity. Like at our current gravity, whatever it is, 9.8.
8 something.
Yeah, whatever the unit of measurement is. They would not, the size, they would have basically, they would have crumbled. So there's an idea out there that they lived on basically like a different Earth.
Here's the thing. Either they weren't real or we orbited somewhere else. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And they have to be real. Like, they're in the ground. Like, I know there's people out there who think that, like, people went and, like, planted dinosaur bones. But, like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
And, like, people's arguments, like, they serve, like, an ice age.
Yeah.
Like, just wiped them all out.
Well, but they date the dinosaurs back, what's it, like, 25 million years ago? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
A crazy time period.
Yep.
You know? And you're just like, hold on. Something had to have happened. Like,
for sure.
We're not living in the same world, but.
Yep. I think we talked about this at a very bougie burger restaurant.
We did, and I was talking to your boyfriend about it.
Yeah, and our dad was there, and he was just like, I don't even know what to do with my children.
Our very corporate, professional-looking dad was just, he was just outside the convo. Yeah.
And you and my boyfriend just can get into a rabbit hole.
We were going
about this stuff, but that's where we were, and that's where I heard it, and I was like. Because I had just listened to a podcast about dinosaurs. And I was like, that makes a lot of sense. Like, that's a valid theory.
Yeah, you were listening to Dusty Slay?
Yeah.
Nice.
Shout out Nashville comedians.
Yeah, shout out Dusty.
Dusty, Nate.
Man.
But they were, and they're so just not about that lifestyle. They're just comedians. It was really funny, but it also made me think, like, there's some validity to maybe, like, something else happened, you know? So...
It is a weird one, and I don't know that we'll ever understand it, but
yeah, the dinosaur fan for sure.
Yes.
Also, that a pterodactyl is not a dinosaur.
It's a what?
A bird.
Well, I think velociraptors, they used to look like chickens or something. They were like a bigger chicken or something like that.
They said they had feathers.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Velociraptors have feathers, but in like Jurassic Park, they don't have feathers.
And all we have pictured is the stuff we have pictured.
I know.
The movie stuff. People have told us. Yeah. And you're like...
Again, we don't know. We just create. Every idea is built off another. There are no original ideas. Mm-hmm. You can have great ideas, but nothing is original. Everything's built off of something. Because the guy who came out and was like, dinosaurs used to have feathers. Yeah. Someone was like... What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, what are you talking about? Like, no, they didn't. Like, how? But yeah, that's a thing. Yeah. Apparently. That's crazy. I wonder what dinosaur meat tasted like. I don't know. But it's like super gamey. I bet it was imagine. I bet it was earthy as hell. It had to be. I mean, they were like the first things. They were the yeah, they were. As far as we know. So, speaking of the Wild West, that I mentioned earlier, there's a couple instances of giant bones being discovered in Arizona. And one of these happened in Yavapai County, Arizona. And one of... this one was found by a man named Peter Marks, who was living along Walnut Creek. Apparently, there were like really heavy rains and heavy floods, were wrecking a large portion of the area. And Marks went out to survey the damage, and he found these enormous bones, and he dug it out. And it became apparent that it was a human leg bone, but it was like huge. It was reportedly far larger than that of any known human being, and things got stranger as he continued to dig. He would soon find an array of other outsized bones, as well as an immense human skull, far larger than that of a normal man. Marx was quoted saying, "The skull is of such an abnormal size that if the average man of this day placed it over his head, he could find room to move it backwards and forwards or up and down with ease, without disturbing his natural position. From measurements taken of the skull, a number 10 hat would be required to fit it." Have no reference for what a number 10 hat is.
I feel like that's not an American thing.
I don't wear top hats anymore. Maybe in my
anymore.
And maybe in my past life
Before he was reborn.
Yes, exactly. The teeth, several of which are still embedded in the jawbone, substantiate the immense size of the head. They are fully 1/3 larger than those of men today and present more the appearance of tusks than molars of the human family. As to the bones, there's no disputing the fact that the owner was symmetrically formed of immense size and Herculean strength. The thigh and lower limbs indicate at least twice the size of an average man. So, 10, 12 feet.
Mm-hmm.
The bones of this monstrous human may have represented a race of men or a single individual. At any rate, the skeleton of the man in my possession is sufficiently complete so that the dimensions, which are astounding, may be accurately ascertained. I would just like to recognize the craftsmanship at which that paragraph was written. The last sentence is incredible. At any rate, the skeleton of the man in my possession is sufficiently complete so that the dimensions, which are astounding, may be accurately ascertained. I mean, like,
wow. You're right.
That's so extra the way that people used to write. So extra. Probably because it had nothing to do.
I mean, they were just like, how can I make this sound as old-timey as possible?
I know. I have 3 hours to write my notes. I have nothing else going on. I have no phone. I have no computer. Nothing's bothering me. You know? I honestly think that's why they wrote that
That is so funny.
But, that was a very well-written paragraph.
Well done.
Yes. So there's another encounter, or another remains allegedly found in 1913 at Sycamore Creek, Arizona. Road construction workers dug up the remains of a humanoid that would have stood over 8 feet tall in life, surrounded by ancient beads that were thought to date back to the Toltec period. So I believe that's early like 200s, sometime around there. Okay. 500 AD. The report even makes a direct comparison between these and those found by Marx, which we just read his brilliantly crafted paragraph.
Ascertained.
Once again, the remains just seem to have sort of disappeared. Wonder where they went. Leaving us with nothing to go on other than some news reports from that era, and we are left to wonder if such giant humanoids once roamed the wilds of Arizona. One very interesting point worth considering is that there are apparently historical sightings of actual living giants coming from the region. According to Prescott, Arizona History, one report came from an expedition of a great New World explorer, Coronado, who was on a voyage up the coast of past Sonora, Mexico, which borders Arizona. The record of this was written by the chronicle of the voyage, Pedro de Castañeda, which tells of Captain Armando de Alacron, who went off to bring supplies for soldiers up the coast, but soon contact with Alacron's ships was lost, and a Don Rodrigo Maldonado was sent up to find out what happened to Alcaron. Although he was unable to find the ships he sought, he apparently came back with a captive Indian who was so tall that the tallest explorer came up to his chest.
Oh my gosh.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That is wild. That story sounds really familiar. I think I've heard this. Yeah, I think I've heard this one before. Now, I know maybe I think me and Kyle did an episode about giants because I remember telling a story about similar context to that last one. Explorers were going down South America, and they would like right on the tip of Argentina. They had like come around the tip, and they made landfall, and they like came across these massive humans, or maybe it was even that they could like see them from the ocean, like these really huge humans that were living in that area. But as far as I remember, they mentioned that eventually they just got killed. Like these giants just got killed off.
Okay, hear me out.
Yeah.
What if dinosaurs and humans got together?
Like back in the day?
And made giant humans.
I think there's a size difference that we might need to adjust. But I'm not opposed to it.
I mean, I think I'm onto something.
I think you're onto something. Or like a giant human riding a dinosaur.
That'd be lit.
That would be lit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like strapping up a saddle on a dinosaur.
Well, especially if they already had the horns on the back of them. You just sit right in there.
And their skin was so thick. I mean,
it's like a saddle.
Yeah, it's like a saddle.
Honestly,
it's like super protective. Like it's like in Game of Thrones, they have these huge spears to kill dragons because their bow and arrows just bounce off their hides.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I would love to feel that skin or whatever you call it on a dinosaur.
Yeah,
like how thick that is.
Again, could have had feathers. We don't know.
That's true.
But yeah, I think.
But like depicting literally a dinosaur with feathers is not cool. Like they would have never done that in the movies, which is why they didn't.
Which is why they didn't know. I agree. I mean, yeah, it was probably very leathery.
For sure.
Very leathery.
Because it has to like withstand like.
Yeah.
Extreme cold and extreme hot.
Extreme heat, yeah. So, yeah, it was probably very leathery. I know. I love that thought.
Yeah.
Love that thought.
I mean, it's really like I would be high right now and say that, but I'm not. Yeah. But, like, that just came to mind.
Yes.
Like, like how else is a human going to be 15 feet tall?
You're right. There's a lot of detail, and I'm sure a lot of books written on theories as to why, or as to the humans. And I know there's a documentary on Vimeo, I believe, called Holocaust of the Giants. I don't know if I think I sent you the name. I don't know if you watched it, but it's about what's that island off the coast of Italy? Not Sicily, but I'll remember it here in a second. But there's an island off of Italy that
is it known for giants?
So yes,
let's see,
giants, Sardinia maybe. I think it's Sardinia. Check that out.
Okay.
So basically the idea is that there are these massive graves there that are empty. And the guys doing the documentary go to Sardinia and are basically interviewing these people.
That is correct.
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you. They're interviewing these people that have lived on the island since they were children, and these guys claim to have seen giant bones when they were little kids. And they were just playing around with these things because they didn't know what they were. So in comes the Catholic Church. And obviously, if you acknowledge a race of giant humans, that throws the church's timeline way out of sync.
In Italy, they're like,
They're like, no. So there are these churches situated along the Italian countryside And the idea and what these guys claim is that the church basically had this huge operation where they rounded up all of these giant bones and either destroyed them or they're in like the Vatican archives.
Well,
exactly. Exactly.
We've talked about that.
We have talked about that. So, yeah, that's that idea. Again, great documentary. I think you can rent it for like $5 or something.
What is it on?
Vimeo.
Okay. And it's called
Holocaust of the Giants.
Holocaust of the Giants.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And again, a lot more detail, a lot more interviews.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. Catalina Island off the coast of California. Similar thing.
Yeah.
Similar thing. There were excavations there where they supposedly discovered giants. So yeah, I don't know.
Let's see. Catalina Island giants.
Yeah, they. I think there was a Smithsonian expedition as well.
I see that Mysterious Universe article.
Yeah, I mean, yes. Everywhere is Mysterious Universe. I can't find a source that's not Mysterious Universe.
Honestly, like, humans that are, like, giant freak me out a little bit. Like, not even, like, just large people, but, like, I was at this thing I don't know when it was, a couple months ago, but it was this, like, festival thing, and there was a man on stilts, and it was just very unsettling. Like, no one with human characteristics should be that tall.
Right, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's not, it's unsettling, you know?
But that's what I just feel, like, unsettled by it. Like,
yeah,
the thought of it and, like, what it looks like. And
I mean, also, like, if for the most part, if something is taller than you and stronger than you, you're helpless.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you going to do?
Which kind of, I would think, might... Like, I feel like that would be a con to this theory of giants, because if they were so large, like, how did they get beat? Or, like, you know, unless it was some environmental event.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Like, how did they get taken down by, like, Spanish explorers?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think it was a mix, or it could have been disease.
Yeah.
Because we all know that the Spanish brought over smallpox.
Like, it couldn't have just been, like, they were fighting and they got taken out.
No. Although there are legends about Native Americans killing giants, wiping out tribes of giants. Wow. Yeah.
How?
I think it was a numbers game, probably.
Oh,
yeah,
probably.
You know, a bit of creativity. I mean, you know, the Native Americans, I mean, they were fighting wars all the time.
Yeah, they had a lot of stuff that...
Just territorial stuff between tribes back in the day. So, I mean...
Yeah.
They knew how to fight wars, but, like... Yeah, and, I mean, there probably weren't... I mean, if it's a hidden civilization of giants, there's probably not a lot of them.
Right.
You know, because... they weren't known. Like, they were hidden. Like, the stories that we hear, they're like either underground or like away from civilization. So even if there were giants, they're probably only a handful of them. So, and then if they're like humans, you know, you can only breed within a small society so much. Everything else just gets inbred. So they could have just bred themselves out of existence. Yeah. I mean, that's what the royalty in the Holy Roman Empire did. They basically bred themselves out of existence.
Yeah.
They were so inbred that they just died.
I never even thought about that.
Yeah, so that possibility too.
Yeah.
Well, I do think we need to do a Smithsonian
definitely
Giants conspiracy, or just Smithsonian in general. I know.
Yeah, I think we could do like a Smithsonian good and bad.
Yeah.
Little thing.
Yeah.
I know they've brought they've kept a lot of, you know, historical things
For
alive.
sure. Not all bad.
Not all bad.
But I do think there is some cover-up esque things happening, and that have happened.
I mean, it happens everywhere.
Happens probably daily.
Yep. Yep.
So, yeah, we should definitely do that next and get a little deeper in the weeds. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I thought those were good stories.
Yeah,
good,
I agree.
interesting, kind of fantastical at times. But,
yeah.
But, yeah. Cool. What do you got going this week?
What do I have this week? Oh, just
grinding it out?
Yeah, just grinding it out. Got a concert we're filming this on a Sunday night. Got a concert on Monday night. Gonna be cool. Got some friends going. Have seen the guy before, but
nice.
He was great.
Yeah.
Like $15, good, cheap entertainment.
Yeah.
Other than that, dinner with some girlfriends that I haven't gotten in a while. So figured we should catch up when we're not hammered sometimes.
Sometimes that's cool, but it's fun. It's more fun when you're hammered most of the time.
It is for sure.
Yeah.
We'll probably get there.
Yeah, it's
Wednesday night. It's
makes sense.
We made it through Tuesday, so
it's the worst day of the week.
What about you?
Just coaching, doing some work. I think this week's mainly just getting some stuff out to different clients, and I don't think we have any meetings.
But we would love to not have to, do that and just make podcasting our full-time job.
That would be amazing. And if you would like to subscribe and help us do that, if you're listening on iTunes, hit that subscribe button, or Apple Podcasts, I should say. Hit that subscribe button. Google Podcasts. Follow us. Follow us on Twitter at World We Live Pod. Follow us on Facebook at The World We Live In Podcast. And to see Twitter, Facebook, Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
I believe is...
Or just send it to someone.
Yeah. Send it to someone. Yeah, share with your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they don't like it, fuck them.
Yeah. Yeah, don't need them.
Yeah, don't need them.
No, but I mean, people do want to, we do it, listen to things to, get us away from our daily lives.
Totally. Also, word of mouth is the best way to spread stuff.
It is.
Just share it with your friends. Send it to your mom.
From someone who works in marketing, it's the best way to do it.
It still is.
It's the most reliable.
That's why radio ads are so popular.
Yeah.
It's the word of mouth thing. It's a weird concept.
Yeah. But always appreciate who does listen.
Yeah.
So.
We do appreciate y'all. Thank you for listening. And stay safe out there. Be kind to one another. And we'll talk to you later.
Peace.